The Spider-Man's pointing at each other, but it's like that, but with everybody. So you have Hancock pointing at the permanent secretary, and you have the permanent secretary pointing at Hancock, and they're both pointing at the cabinet office. The cabinet office is pointing back at them, and all the different Spider-Mans are all pointing at each other, saying you're responsible. And the problem is, everyone's right and everyone's unhappy. Everyone kind of has a point about it.
Nice one, bro. All right, CNN confronted the woman behind the bogus Arizona election audit.
Tonight, we finally hear from the Arizona State Senate Republican who called for the so-called audit of the 2020 presidential election ballots in Phoenix. She's avoided talking until now. CNN's King La caught up with her. Here's her report.
Good morning, Senator Fan.
You may not recognize Arizona Senate President Karen Fan.
Let's get this thing done.
But she's the elusive leader behind the notorious so-called audit happening in Maricopa County, Arizona.
I don't know what's legit, what isn't legit, but why wouldn't we want to answer those questions?
Because you're questioning democracy.
No, I'm questioning the integrity of the election system.
Which is the backbone of democracy.
That's right. Which means we should have full 100% confidence in our democracy and in our election system.
But you're talking about trying to disprove conspiracies.
If I have to, yes. Why wouldn't we? If somebody says something is out there, I would love to be able to say, that's not true, guys.
Aren't you raising more questions by giving rise to these conspiracy theories?
No. I'm answering questions.
After declining a dozen requests from CNN to talk, we finally caught up with her in the Senate parking lot. Despite 2 previous audits in Maricopa County that found no widespread fraud, Fan says this third review is needed. Over the last month, we've seen this little-known subcontractor the Republican-led Senate hired, Cyber Ninjas, use UV lights, hunting for non-existent watermarks on ballots, and high-tech cameras looking for foreign fibers and photocopied ballots. Here's why, says Fan.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Are you 100% confident that every vote that came in Arizona or any other state, or can you say emphatically 100% that no dead people voted, that ballots weren't filled out by other people, that the chain of custody from the minute people voted their ballots, that the chain of custody was accurate and on target the entire time? Can you tell me that?
I can say that what the data shows us is that there was no widespread fraud.
I didn't say there was fraud.
But you just said chain of custody.
Yeah, chain of custody.
Dead people. These things are all fraud.
Well, I've asked you a question. Can you honestly tell me in all the states that no ballots from people that are already deceased were not filled out and sent in?
I can tell you that what the data has shown overwhelmingly is that this was the most secure election in American history.
Okay, but you can't answer that question either, can you?
I'm answering it. I'm telling you that.
No, you're telling me what the data says. I asked.
And
you
the
were
data
asking me
is what we should be driven by.
What the facts are may be the disconnect. Fan defends the pro-Donald Trump media organization One America News Network, or OAN, as being the only outlet given extensive access to the review.
First of all, when we talk about transparency, from day one, the entire process has been live streaming, so anybody...
On OAN, with cameras controlled by OAN.
Are you saying that OAN is not a credible news source? Are you saying that? Okay, I'll remember that. CNN is saying that OAN is not a credible one.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
OAN personalities have fundraised for the Arizona audit, and a pro-Trump nonprofit claims it has raised $1.7 million for the audit. Fan says when the audit nears its end, the public will learn who is exactly paying for this. For now, she says taxpayers are covering the first $150,000.
Well, we are paying the $150,000. We are paying for some of the security, and we are paying for the cost of the Coliseum. Well, we're paying for our fair share. Anything over and above that is being covered by others. I do not know who they are, but I know from the get-go there was a lot of grassroots people. I have been told that there are people sending in $10, $50 checks, $100 because they want to see this audit done.
Fan's decision to continue with this audit is backed by the Republican majority in Arizona's Senate.
It looks like they're chasing conspiracies.
Or debunking conspiracies. That's another thing.
And
so you don't look at that. See, everybody wants to twist that word around. How about debunking conspiracy?
And how long do you believe that this process should go?
As long as it takes.
Do you believe this is helping democracy?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Will you do this every election?
It will be a lesson in democracy that we answer people's questions, and I want the people, I don't care if you're in Arizona or any state across the nation, if we have those kind of doubts, we owe it to them to answer their questions. This will be the basis of a gold standard.
Kyung-La joins us now from Phoenix. It's interesting, she's saying essentially that if anybody feels like something wasn't fair, then there will always be audits, because people will always think something isn't fair. Whoever loses will think it's not fair, and at some point that this will just continue on, that this is the new normal.
As she quantified it, she said if it's only 2% of voters who think that it's not fair, you can ignore that. But because there are so many, she says, who do not believe this election result, that they have to chase all of these conspiracies. But Republicans here in Maricopa County say that that is not being able to tell the difference between fact and fiction. And Karen Fan, somebody who the Republicans in Maricopa County really deeply admire, have known for many years, Anderson, they say she is chasing a fiction.
I flagged as a bolo last night, but you know what? It's even bigger than, and more important than I made it, okay?
At this point, I don't know. I don't know why they're doing this. Thanks for bullying me on Twitter. Who the fuck are you? Bro, people are so strange. How did I bully you? Who are you? Thanks for posting me on stream. Why you send me all your soldiers instead of answering me? Hassan, Saj, thanks for bullying. What?
Abby, I don't know if you've ever covered this, but I am not.
Are you Mark Ruffalo?
Is
this Mark Ruffalo's account?
The Palestinian struggle. If you know anything about this, could you enlighten us?
You have to look at who's behind the fraudit in Arizona, and that's why I call it fraudit, because the more you learn and the more you look, the worse it is.
5 months.
It may be crazy, but it is real and happening. And there is a new conductor helping to drive the crazy train. It should tell you everything you need to know about the legitimacy of this effort to try to overturn the presidential election results in the state's largest county of Arizona, 7 months after the vote. The Republicans say they did it right. They looked at it.
Fuck, this dude literally looks like I mean, it's not saying much because Steve Bannon is so ugly, but he looks like a better looking Steve Bannon, who is of course still incredibly hurt. Airbrush Steve Bannon. I just old Lud. Okay, Chaz really got to stop saying every fucking white dude is old Ludwig. Oh, by the way, I was wrong. I thought it was supposed to start a little bit later, but the Roast of Mischief is starting in 20 minutes for the record.
Twice. The people who are on the board overseeing it, who are all Republicans, don't understand why this is happening. But now you will. This man is former Overstock CEO.
I think it's
Patrick Byrne. He has turned crazed Trump sympathizer.
That's wrong. I don't know. That's what 1 p.m. Pacific, right? Yeah. Will and Austin said last night is at 1 p.m. Pacific. Okay, yeah. Who's streaming? I'm still gonna be live. I'm not gonna go offline. I'm still gonna be live, and then afterwards we're gonna do after the did you write your own jokes? Yes, I got help, but I wrote my own jokes as well.
Resubbed with that non-Mackenzie.
So why aren't you in Austin then? It's not everyone is in Austin, dude. I got some ghostwriters. When you were showing your answer to Mark Ruffalo's tweet, a tweet answering you could also be seen right below yours. So I guess that's who they are. They were criticizing your tweet, so maybe people here went, oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry that they did that. You guys really need to stop fucking doing that. You're limiting what I can show on stream and making it worse for yourselves. But yeah, I'm sorry that that happened to you, chatter, if you're still in here. But that was not my intention. I did not mention you at all, or even acknowledge, or did even see it for that so I don't know why you would think I would fucking send my soldiers your way. I literally did not know. I did not even know that was a thing. Thanks for bullying me on Twitter, and then said lol, and then sad face. Okay, well, I'm sorry. That was not.
I watched a clip of XQC win 120K on slots.
Very, very passionate about it. He is helping bankroll this clown show in Maricopa County with a group he runs called the America Project. His group is apparently helping not just raise money, but to decide who counts the ballots. They are recruiting the volunteers as a liaison with the Republican-controlled state Senate. He's launched a website that aims to raise nearly $3 million for the sham, and claims to have already raised well over half that to prove Trump was the rightful winner. Now, you may be thinking, so Byrne, I like Overstock. What's the big deal? Byrne is the guy who says he was present at that bonkers meeting at the White House in the final days of Trump's presidency about martial law, the one attended by that kraken Sidney Powell and the disgraced former National Security Advisor, Michael Flynn. There was allegedly a clash over talk of martial law and seizing voting machines to try to overturn the election. Byrne was there. Byrne is the guy who
Can't feel that fucking burn, baby, but in a different kind of way.
came on this program a couple years ago with one of the wildest allegations I've ever heard, saying the so-called deep state was directing him before the last presidential election to pursue a romantic relationship with convicted Russian operative Maria Butina. You remember this? The FBI wanted you to continue your association to get information. They never told you you needed to have a romantic relationship with somebody.
Well, eventually, yes, they did.
They told you that you had to have a romantic relationship?
That's what I'm getting to. This gal, Maria, oh my gosh, highest national priority. And they said, and the very honorable men and women, the men in black, they said, we want to be clear. This never happens in the United States. We are the good guys. Oh, we don't work like the bad guys, but we need to ask you to rekindle a romantic relationship with Maria Butina. And
members of the FBI that you're sure were members of the FBI asked you to do this. And you know their names.
And I know their names.
Here's the problem. Former top FBI.
Bro, the funniest part about like
Thanks for having a
the funniest part about like Russian espionage in America is that it's oftentimes done through the dumbest ways, through the dumbest hogs, in such a way that it literally feels like unreal. Like, who would get caught up in this? You know what I mean? Like, to be fair, if you are a fucking world superpower that just straight up dominates everyone, but internally you have such like horrible fucking security measures, and internally you have such like you have no control,
you demand,
and that you know, hogs have this like insane entitlement that like it's so penetrable. Why wouldn't you, if you're Russia, try to fucking create as much chaos as possible internally in America? Like, why wouldn't you do that? And it's wild because like there are and it's not just like horny motherfuckers, like there are a lot of these things, dude. It's just crazy. Why are all these conspiracy pushers cracked out 50-year-old dude CEOs?
Officials said no, he doesn't. There's nothing to this. Then
I mean, Maria Butina was like she was good, dude. Like, she was able to get into so many DC circles. I mean, when you think about it, Sacha Baron Cohen was able to exploit a lot of like the weaknesses in American like in the way that America governs itself by being able to like use certain aspects, like, you know, portraying himself as a Israeli intelligence community officer, you know what I mean, and or even like portraying themselves as a lobbyist. Like, he was able to do so much. So it's something as like simple as that, all the way to like Maria Butina just like going all the way to like the Christianity or the Christian dinner that they host. Like, it's so funny. Like, why wouldn't you?
Social justice.
It's like the fucking homemade rockets that Hamas launches indiscriminately at Israel. If you have a colonial power absolutely dominating every aspect of your existence, and you're causing them $40,000 to intercept every single fucking like sugar and fertilizer made like rocket, like homemade rocket, then like in an effort to at least show some kind of retaliation, like of course they're gonna do that. Do you see what I mean? It's like you have no power. Russia, in the grand scheme of things, has pro-Russia take? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not pro-Russia take. What I'm trying to say is, like, we often look at history from the lens of, what do you call it? From the lens of like, or not history. We often look at political conflict and foreign policy from the lens of like an America-centric approach, right? No matter how woke you are, you still look at it like, you still look at it from a America first approach, no matter what happens, right? So because of that, we rarely ever consider, it's like, if a country with the fucking GDP is like smaller than Texas has an opportunity to like cause so much chaos, why wouldn't they take it? Like, they see us as a foreign adversary, and it's so fucking easy to exploit. So I don't know. I mean, even from a point of view, even from POV as like looking at America from a national security point of view, why don't we just like, I don't know, fix our shit instead of just like trying to increase sanctions or use this as an opportunity to further justify military action in the region, or like give fucking Ukrainian Nazis weapons or some shit. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me that instead of like defending ourselves, we just continue the same cycle of the American military-industrial complex machine. We just keep feeding the military-industrial complex machinery rather than like actually taking preventative measures. It's very weird. An old adage in the Cold War